King Arthur. Bum, 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 bum. The Adventure of King Arthur. Bum, da, da, da. Bum, ba, da, ba. Hi guys and welcome to a new episode of the channel. Today we'll be talking about the King Arthur stories. Let's get started. Let's start with the origin. The Sword in the Stone. The Sword in the Stone is one of the best stories in the whole wide world. Where once upon a time there was this guy named King Arthur who got a wizard to care for his little baby, Merlin, called Merlin. Merlin gave the baby all the way to a family that was very caring, and then they realized that maybe this could be the king's son, but they didn't really think of it. Then years later, 16 years later for that matter, there was a competition, a jousting competition of the Sword in the Stone. Whoever can take it out will be the true king born of England. And Arthur tried it, and he was the king of England at 16 years old. And now he actually broke his sword during a fight, so he had to go to the Lady of the Lake to get a new sword, where he got his legendary sword, Excalibur. Now, Excalibur, we've all heard about it, the legendary sword, which I accidentally broke in my toy, Excalibur, but it turns out there is a lot to talk about Excalibur. Firstly, it's the magical sword that no one can defeat. At least that's what I've heard. No, also the scabbard that contains it. Whoever wears it will never bleed. And now we have to talk about how Arthur got the round table. Now, the round table was gotten as a present, as a wedding present, at least according to the book. King Arthur wanted to marry Guinevere, who we now all know as the Queen of Camelot. This time she is still not the Queen of Camelot yet, but she will be. She was crowned queen and married to Arthur the king, eventually ruling happily beside each other. And her father, Guinevere's father, was so happy about the marriage that he gave Arthur a round table. And then he proclaimed that all the knights around the table will be called the Knights of the Round Table, and that there will be an annual meeting where the knights would share their adventures. But not all was not well. Morgan Le Fay, Arthur's sister, was evil, and she wanted to stir up a lot of trouble. And she literally destroyed the scabbard of Excalibur, and actually, on purpose, accidentally killed who was it called? Accolon. Yeah, what was that? Was Accolon. And then they were pretty much inoperable. They fought. Arthur and Accolon had to fight, even though they didn't know who each other were. And then when they heard each other's voice, they were like, and then they realized that Arthur killed Accolon. And then Morgan was like, he's for the blame, because actually she's for the blame. And then Lancelot loved Guinevere, but then they were like, he's a traitor, and tried to attack him. But then there was a big war. And then Arthur knew their customs, Mordred's customs, to burn Guinevere and fight Lancelot, his best and bravest knight. Well, Guinevere was saved by Lancelot, but Arthur still had to fight Lancelot. Eventually, Lancelot died, and Arthur knew that Mordred was still a threat. Our Morgan was dealt with, but now Mordred is the last threat. And during the last battle, it was so terrible that only 4 men were alive. Arthur, 2 of his knights, and Mordred. Arthur and Mordred fought all the way until Mordred died, but Arthur was hurt badly. And Sir Bedivere, one of his knights, was ordered to throw the sword in the lake. He didn't at first, but when Arthur knew that he lied, he actually threw it. Arthur went to the lake of Avalon and told his knights that I'm going to the Vale of Avalon to get healed. I will return in England's greatest fear. And maybe when England is also in danger. And maybe he actually did return because one of the knights, because a duke went into and fought a lot of people, a lot of bad guys that was a threat to England. And what was that duke's name? Arthur. So yeah, he said he would be back. And he did. And there was a lot to talk about here, but we're just skipping all that. And that was how Arthur and the tales of himself went. Now, this duke never claimed that he was the actual reincarnation of King Arthur, even if he existed. But he may be. His name is Arthur. And the guy, King Arthur of legend, said he'd come back. Is this a coincidence or not? Oh, make up your own mind. I don't care. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy this episode, please tell me what you learned in this. I just say a lot of adventures and how to be brave and stuff. But tell me in the comments below. Hope to see you guys in the next episode. Shnun out and peace. Yeah!